I was rocking out to the intro.
We saw that. We saw that.
I need these special effects.
And I just disproved something because I was told only the host can do that.
That's not true.
Well, because I'm not the host, so I keep knocking them down. People know everything, but no, not the case.
It must be the Hail Xenu hoodie.
That's right. I'm wearing.
That's you're giving you superpowers.
Link in the description. BFG merch.
Yeah.
It's snowing, so I had to put on my Hail Xenu hoodie.
Yes. Well, welcome back to All Things Scientology, in which we pull back the curtain on the abusive practices of Scientology. We're your hosts with our guest hosts, our favorites. I'm Claire Headley.
With Marc Headley.
With Marc Headley. I was going to let him introduce himself.
That's me. I'm Marc.
That's Hail Xenu.
That's also Marc over there, but we call him Matt.
Yeah, aka Matt.
Yep.
Yes.
So Amy and Matt are with Claire and Marc, our two faves. And this is going to be a really fun one today. This was Matt's idea. He was like, we were driving to Clearwater Beach and just for a day off because it's been sunny and warm while you guys are sitting in the snow. It's been really nice. I'm getting a tan out there.
Are you now? Where is said tan? I'm kidding.
It's a good point.
Yeah, I'm just
Where are you hiding
it? No offense, Amy. You look beautiful. I'm just having fun.
But we were driving down to Clearwater Beach and Matt said, it would be so funny. There's all these sure tell signs of being a Sea Org member or being a Scientologist. And so we started listing them and we just pages after, I had a notebook with me, page after page after page. We were like the Jeff Foxworthy style, if you so-and-so, you might be a Scientologist, and also Sea Org member, because there's very specific ones for that too. So we're going to have a lot of fun with that today. But first things first, let's welcome everybody who's coming into the watch us and that I see in the chat from all over the place. I'm going to start saying, I start a bunch of them from early on. So we've got someone from Brisbane, Australia.
Nice.
Where that Cornville, Evelyn, hi. Arizona, upstate New York.
Nice.
They might have snow.
They might have snow. It's cold up there. Southern California. And Halifax, Nova Scotia. Japan of Green Gables, who I see often in the chats. I love this one. Greetings from Dick Scobie Field.
Wow.
Yes. Yep. And
Auburn, Washington.
Oh, hello. And thank you, Sandra, for the super chat. All right. And this person wanted to say, I'm in the middle of listening to Blown for Good. It's good. Wonderful hoodie. That's awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes. Oh, I know that there's a lot of other ones because they're all saying it now. Now that I just had a few of them starred, but anyway, welcome.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to put up a few more. We have 8060 NC, Panama City, Panama.
Nice.
And good old Clearwater, Tennessee. Boom.
Yep.
And this one, did you show this one?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
That's and look at that cup. It's a little SPTV cup, which is nice.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Nice.
Anyway, hello everyone from all over the planet, and thank you for joining us for All Things Scientology. We're going to do a little bit of a week in review here. We had a pretty interesting week, so here we go. Week in review, breaking news from SPTV, All Things Scientology, episode number 24, week ending 11/8/2023. So here we go. So recent videos. Marc.
Well, because week ending, that's got to be a Scientology thing. You're proving it in the video.
Yeah.
Weekending.
If your week ends at 2:00 on Thursday, you just might be a Scientologist.
Yeah,
but whenever you talk about something, you always say W/E. That was the weekending.
Yes, if you know what W/E stands for, you might be a Scientologist, or more specifically, probably a Sea Org member.
Yeah,
probably a Sea Org member.
Yeah,
you're trying to live from week to week. Yeah.
Oh my God, minute to minute. So let's cover the recent videos. So there was a little productive week, especially Marc, but we'll go through these here. So yes, the IASP fundraising live that we did with all of us SPs, and I wrote on the bottom, celebrating unprecedented expansion.
Nice.
Which is always something that Scientology says. Which is a lie, but anyway, so we did that and, filled up the 6 squares there. That was a good one. And then I did day after for day 2 recap and day 3 recap of the IAS protests with Apostate Alex and PTS for Life, Jeff. And that was really fun. And they covered a whole bunch of specifics and showed video and photos and everything like that. And then you guys did a really wonderful coverage on this with great photos. My God, you guys got like amazing photos of this.
The photos were flooding in. Like,
were they?
Yes.
Wow.
The leaks are out of control at this point. Like,
yes. There's more coming out than is staying in at this point.
I'm sure they're trying to like shut people down. Like, don't bring your phone, and turn your phone in beforehand, and it's still getting out no matter what.
Yeah.
And then Marc did 2 of the Scientology spy files, number 20 and 21. So those are continuing to get out, which is big revelation. And then he did a deep dive with Mark Fisher. What did that cover? I haven't seen that yet, Marc.
It was just a lot about the international headquarters, about the production areas and how the cassette production area and things like that. It was like deep golden era stuff, and just how we did things and stuff like that. So it's fun doing it with Marc because he asks questions that I would never think to answer, and he knows the whole property, so he was good at asking good questions. So
that's awesome.
And also he left right after I got there. So he knew all the areas, but he never knew what happened with any of them.
Oh, that was
so it's kind of like he knew like the stuff that was supposed to happen, but he didn't know what happened. So he had all the questions like, oh, what happened with this and what happened with that? And so it was fun.
People should check that out on your channel. And then you did another Marc and Mitch make a Scientology film, and this one was the one that takes place in space.
Yes.
TR5.
The one with Isaac Hayes.
I was there for that because I was being what's called a cine messenger at the time, and so I was in cine, and when Isaac was shooting, anyway, and that was fun because the set was amazing.
That was it was also the first movie that we shot in the studio that we built there called the Cine Castle. It was the very first film we shot in there, so it was a big deal.
Right. Yeah. Very big deal. Yep. Okay, and then this is last night, I had a live with my previous husband of 17 years, Jim Mortland, and this says married in Scientology Sea Org. Yeah, what is marriage in the Scientology Sea Organization? It's crazy. And I said, what did we really know about each other? Part of the live was also fun. Like I had a true and false. I had this, or yes and no signs on what he knew about me or me about him. I got a lot wrong, but anyway.
Yeah. So he had a sister you didn't even know about.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I watched that. I think you guys might even put one of my comments up at the very beginning of that.
Yes. But anyway, that video was very revelatory and also healing for both Jim and I. We talked about afterwards, but that was very interesting.
That was awesome that you did that.
Yeah. And here's my favorite video that you guys did this week, which is Scientology Int Base Escape.
So That was so good.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, you did the greatest animations for this. And
Thank you.
you just followed through the whole story. You're such a storyteller, I gotta just say, Mark. I mean,
Yeah.
and you put the work in on this thing and made it come to life. And that story does tell people what it takes to get off of the stupid property.
That was sort of what prompted me to do it, because people kept commenting, why is it so hard to get away from this place? Like, what's the big deal? Why can't you just jump out over the fence and just run away?
Or
And I was
drive
like,
away, you know.
Yeah, but a lot of times people brought that up, and I thought, you know what? I don't think everybody's told they may have more or better security than like Fort Knox. Like
Right.
it's literally ground microphones. It's crazy.
And the fence going 4 feet down into the ground, so you're not gonna dig it out
So you
in the
can't dig
California
under.
rocks. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I even wrote, if your base security system resembles Fort Knox, you might be a Sea Org member.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Let's see what the next thing is. Okay, so comment of the week, and it is on that video that you guys did. And this is from Christy Lynn Wilson, 6746, who says, when I look at the number of mechanisms in place to imprison Sea Org members, I get angrier and angrier. How is this possibly legal in the United States of America? This isn't a church facility. It is a prison camp. It has all the classic characteristics: multiple deterrents to escaping, brutal working hours, little to no pay, harsh penalties for questioning or disagreeing with instructions, and substandard living conditions. When will law enforcement do something to liberate people trapped on this property owned by an abusive cult? After seeing your diagram, I urge family members of anyone currently interred at this base to ask for a welfare check. Thanks, Mark and Claire, for shining a light on this horrific issue.
Yes.
So I love that comment. And I think I was going to suggest that she get a Blown for a Good book.
Absolutely, for sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
or merch, whatever you'd like. If you already have the book, just shoot me an email, claire@blownforgood.com. Christy Lynn Wilson. I think I have the name correct from her comment.
Yes, it's Christy Lynn Wilson. Yes.
6746. Yes, absolutely, Christy.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your excellent comment. Let us know
Yes,
what you would
it's
like.
very true.
Yes.
Very true. Okay, so I picked a word of the week. Flat ball bearing. There's no there's no regular definition for this term. A ball bearing is a device that consists of two rings separated by freely rotating metal balls. That's what a ball bearing is. Okay. Flat means not round, won't roll. So a Scientology definition of a flat ball bearing is a defective product, a non-operational person or thing. How would you like to be classified as non-operational?
Is that
Right.
a real definition?
Yeah, I took it out of their dictionary.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And
Yep.
then one is cases that don't roll on the assembly line of the HGC. The HGC is the Hubbard Guidance Center, where you get your auditing, your counseling. So
Yep.
cases that don't roll. And qualifications is where flubbed cases go. So it says qualifications is wholly in the flat ball bearing business.
I had no idea that was Scientology's.
Yes.
I say that all the
Completely.
time, flat ball bearing.
You do? Oh, yeah. That's
I didn't know it was a Scientology word. I was like, yeah, I get it. I know what a ball bearing is. When one's flat, that ain't no good.
So here's the sentence for flat ball bearing. If you disagree with any part of Hubbard technology and won't conform, you're considered a flat ball bearing.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah,
Best.
at best, right?
Yeah.
Amongst other things.
Yeah.
Amongst
Yeah.
many other things.
Yeah. If you get called a flat ball bearing, that's like, okay, whatever. I've been called worse.
Mark just
So
has
this-
the capacity to let it roll off him, not like
Yeah.
the rest of us.
Sucks
Yeah,
to be you,
he
I
does
guess.
too. Matt has that too. Like,
Yeah, I know.
I think it might be a guy thing, because with me it's a lot harder.
Oh my gosh, the amount of times Mark had to literally scoop me off the floor like I was a puddle of mess, like I'm just a loser, and
They
I'm
said I
failing.
was gonna get a comment.
Never gonna see
I'm like,
you ever again.
who cares? Whatever. What
Exactly.
a joke. That's literally what I told her. I was like, who cares? Whatever. She said it was Gerald. He's like the chief police officer at the international headquarters, and he told Claire she was going to get a CWORG justice procedure called a committee of evidence or a court of ethics. And I was just like, who cares? Whatever. She's like, what if he comes? I said, tell him to fuck off. You know, don't even. She was like,
I can't do that.
I was like, yeah, you can. Let's do it. And then you won't hear from him anymore.
So funny because like somebody would write a report on him and he'd go like this. Psh.
Yeah.
Rip it up. Like
Put it in the shredding machine.
Put it in the shredding, like
come on.
Not even
Get
worth the
outta
paint, the
No.
paper it's printed on.
No, won't even read it. It's just like, I know what it says. It's just shit.
It's just
Credit
it's
with
just
a
someone's opinion I do not respect or care about written onto a piece of paper. That's even whatever.
Even my SP declare when a guy gave it to me, I just put it in my pocket, and she's like, "Aren't you gonna read it?" And I'm like, "No, I know what it says. I read enough of these. It's just all exaggeration and lies and bullshit. So why do I need to read it?"
that was Osa. Can't be true.
Exactly true.
It was
the
the exact same thing when they gave me Claire and Mines. We went to go pick up our stuff, and they handed it to me, and I was like, okay, and I just threw the envelope in the truck, and they were like, oh no, you got to read it. And I was like, no, I don't give a shit. It's a bunch of bullshit you guys wrote. And they go, we really would need you to read it. I was like, oh, because you need to report back. And then I was like, okay. I took it out of the envelope. What a bunch of bullshit. And then I just read through it, and then I threw it back in the truck, and they were just like,
yeah, they're hoping to see you somehow get caved in by it or upset about it, and when you don't, and you just blow it off, they're so disappointed. They put so much work trying to be evil about it, and now you just didn't give them joy.
Yeah, it's the same thing with the hate sites. If you're just like, okay, whatever, it's a hate site. It's gotta be some hate on there, and then they're just like, we really worked hard on that.
The only people looking at it are themselves. But anyway.
It's really for us.
Yeah, it just goes to show you the only power OSA or Scientology have over you is the power you grant them. And that's it. And that's
right.
Good
where
point.
It starts and where it ends.
Yeah.
That's exactly true. That's a very good point.
Okay, put that up on my wall. I'm telling you, that's perfect. I love it. I love it, Claire. Here's a nice quote of the week that I found. It's to know even one life has breathed easier because you lived. This is to have succeeded. And that's
Nice.
Ralph Emerson. Yeah. To know even one life has breathed easier because you lived. This is to have succeeded. I love that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. That is.
Okay, here's the photo of the week. Yes. Now, can you spot any change that I may have made in there?
Oh, hold on.
I can do a little closer.
I have to.
I'm going to zoom in.
Here we go. We gotta.
Okay, this is like a spot the.
Yeah.
Did you add hair plugs on David Miscavige? Just kidding. He already has those.
I added David Miscavige. He wasn't there at all. And
the picture, the arrow.
Nice.
And the picture, it wasn't there. I added it.
So
That's
nice. So I was right.
I love that.
was just a
David
little more
Miscavige.
minutia than the fact.
Yeah, yours was the hair plug. But
She
his
did
hair is
put the
really
hair plugs
bouffant
in.
there.
Yes,
Yeah,
those two.
yeah, his
Perfect.
hair is
I love it.
So bouffant. And then Jeff is holding the little mini me with a sign that says "Go Go Power Thetan."
Yeah, it's so great. This little Davy guy got lots of coverage. You got lots of press, big guy. You did good.
That's so funny. Well, that's it for our review in the week.
Nice.
Yay, we did a
week.
good job.
I don't
know if there's anything that you else to show or anything on coming up. I didn't have anything to specifically put in on there. So
No,
you covered it. We got a lot of I didn't realize I did that many videos. I need to stop doing so many videos.
Oh no.
I was like, I remembered when I did like two of them, and I was like, oh yeah, that's true. I did those two. And then when you showed three more, I was like, Gosh, I don't even remember doing those.
Yeah.
No wonder you've been so tired lately, honey. Oh dear.
It's awesome. So there's 2 sections that we wrote. One is you might be a Sea Org member, and the other one is you might be a Scientologist. So we can pick whichever one we want, or we can alternate. But
I vote alternate.
Alternate. Okay, let's
Yes.
do that. Let's do that. Hi, Liz Paris. Thank you so much for the super chat, and nice to see
Liz.
you here.
Hello.
I haven't been looking at the chat. If I'm missing anybody, I'm sorry. I was busy doing review in the week.
Yep, I'll keep an eye on things too.
Okay, that'd be good.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to talk about each one of these too as we go. So let's start with the Sea Org member. And there's actually a couple that fall into the same category here, which is if you can work for 4 days straight without sleep, you might be a Sea Org member. Also, if you can sleep standing up, or if every surface you look at seems like a comfortable place to sleep, you might be a Sea Org member. And if your most common place to nap is the bathroom.
Yes.
I think we've all done all of those.
All
right?
of those.
Yeah. The best is when somebody comes back into your work area and they have 2 giant face prints on their face.
Yes.
So they've been in the bathroom for like a half hour taking a nap, and then come back in and they have these giant white handprints on their face. And you're like, dude, you got some handprints on your face.
Yeah. Here I'm gonna pull up a really great comment. Love Sherlock says, you might be a Sea Org member if you think getting 4 hours is getting a bit too much sleep. So true.
Where is Matt? He's been sleeping for 3.5 hours. Jeez.
It's not that bad. I got 4 hours sleep last night, and I didn't have any the night before, so I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
Oh, you did
Marc,
not.
give her a break,
No.
Marc.
Sorry. I'm saying this is, like me when I was in the Sea Org talking. Not now.
Marc had you like doing dishes all night or something.
Yeah.
No, you can ask Marc. I get my sleep, and do not cross me if I've not gotten my sleep. I am very.
Matt takes a nap every single day.
I take a nap inside my nap.
I've banned alarm clocks in our house. There's no alarm clocks. I just wake up when I wake up.
Yeah.
I worked for a lady that used to fall asleep, face plant herself on the typewriter.
Yeah.
And when she got up, all the keys were in her face.
Well, you say I fell asleep on my Studer, the tape machine I used to QC, quality control the cassettes. I fell asleep on it while checking pancakes, and I had the Studer logo pressed into my face when I got up, and the person who woke me up was David Miscavige. He literally was like, you got to get up. And I woke up and I was like, what? And he started laughing, and I was like, what? And he said, this guy's got a Studer on his face. He's got literally just Studer. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
I'm telling you, I mean, we were up so many days. Like, I think it was 2 years that I averaged 4 hours, and it was like some nights none, and then maybe 6 or whatever. So an average of about 4 for 2 years working on the L. Ron Hubbard stupid places that he was never going to see. And
it's painful too to be no sleep like that. It's so painful. You feel like you have the flu. Your eyes feel bad. You can hardly think. You have all that stuff going on. It's nasty ass.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other reason why I think there's a lot of Sea Org members that die of cancer, because when their body's aching and they have a headache and they don't, their stomach, like.
And
that's a Tuesday for a Sea Org member.
Okay.
So when you really, when you really do have something, it's like, oh, I'm just tired. That's all.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't tell the difference between life-threatening illness and just a normal day as a Sea Org member. There is no difference.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And every surface looks comfortable. It doesn't matter if it's concrete, it looks comfortable.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so that covered that one.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun.
We covered the hell out of that one.
Using my entire tissue box. Oh, I was going to tell you that I bought some new mascara that's waterproof mascara because whenever I talk to you, Mark, I laugh so hard and I just start crying, laughing. And
I'll work on that.
Anyway,
I'll work on that one.
You don't even have to do anything. And what I was saying is that this brand new mascara that's supposedly waterproof makes my eyes water already.
Oh,
Like I can't use it.
It does the work for me. I don't even have to do anything.
Okay,
Just get you some more mascara.
Yeah. So this is the next one. You might be a Scientologist. Sure tell signs. If your quote unquote church has its own KGB style wing that goes after whistleblowers, you might be a Scientologist.
Yep.
Yeah, and if your church operates hundreds of hate websites to shame their critics, you might be a Scientologist.
Yeah.
How
And
about
stops at no end to destroy people utterly, silence and muzzle them if they dare to even say anything about Scientology. You're definitely a Scientologist.
Yeah, and they take people's passports. The first thing when you arrive,
Right.
goodbye passport. They're going to take care of it. So just to keep it safe for you.
Yep, they had my passport for like 13 years because I had a British passport because I wasn't a U.S. citizen. They had that passport for, I think the only way I got it back was I got it back when I was traveling for a religious technology center, and I put it in a file box that we had, but I buried it at the very bottom, and that's the only reason I had that for a while. But then they made me give it back, and I'm pretty sure we'll have to do an episode one day on the 60-page inventory that we received of all our belongings. I'll have to look. But I'm pretty sure the passport was listed on there.
Yeah, we have to do.
You know how I got my passport back? When I left, they told me, we can't find your passport, which is, of course, bull crap, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, I had told my mother that, I don't have my passport because the church, they didn't give it back and all those. So a few months later, she comes up and she gives me my passport. I'm like, what? How'd you get the passport? She's from the Bronx, right? She's like in her 80s. She went to the Fort Harrison Hotel, went to the front desk and said she was going to throw a friggin' fit in that place that didn't come down with the passport for me.
And they came down.
Got the passport. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
So she went and got my passport and gave it to me. Oh,
that's amazing.
They found it real quick when Mom came a calling.
Never mind. We found it. Oopsies.
Yeah, we said, whoops, sorry.
Unbelievable.
Oh, that's amazing.
Also, if your church launched more than 2,000 lawsuits against the IRS and individual agents, then used this to blackmail them into granting tax exempt status, maybe you might be a Scientologist. It looks like my stream calm leggy? Calm leggy. There's a Scientology word.
Delayed.
If you use the word calm leggy.
Oh, you see this one here? If the leader of your religion, did you see that?
Yeah, right here.
Isn't tall enough to ride the adult rides at Disneyland. You might be a Scientologist.
That's a good one.
I love it.
Oh, how would this one?
Wait. You remember if you're saucing up rice and beans with mayonnaise.
Oh my goodness. I've not heard of that one.
You put mayonnaise in rice and beans?
I squirted mayonnaise to
Where'd you get the mayonnaise?
Down. Little packets or whatever they have.
Oh, like little condiment packets?
I have one.
That doesn't sound good at all.
I have one. If your childhood snack was a ketchup sandwich, you might have grown up in the cadet organization.
Oh, yes. So nutritious. Okay, so people are saying that the stream is fine. That's good.
Yeah.
Yes, lots of good people putting all kinds of good stuff up.
Are they?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Show me if they do, so that I can grab it. But I'll tell you. So now we're going to go to the next one. Oh, I want to say this one though, because Matt said this one, and I think it's hilarious, which is if you pay I love this. If you pay $500 an hour to be interrogated, you might be a Scientologist.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yep.
Is that what it is? It's $500 an hour?
Yeah, that's just a little over $6,000. I mean, if you got a class 12 and it's like the one that you actually asked for, and you're paying preferential. You're paying $1,000 an hour.
Yeah, wow. 500 is the lower bargain basement price.
Yeah, really? You got somebody that can hardly talk when you're just paying $500. That's some,
or
probably cross-eyed.
Or they're a minor, which is just ridiculous and crazy. And
that's true too. Yeah, asking for your sex crimes and a person's 13 years old.
Yeah, I never really thought about it, but that may be an incentive to just get it over with and just give up whatever you got, because you're paying $500 an hour for them to interrogate you. So unless you want to pay, you have to buy it in a block, right, Matt? You have to buy 12 hours at a time. 12 and a half hours at a time. Yeah. So it's going to cost you another $6K if you don't just cough it up on this $6K.
And if you cough it up in 2 hours, it's not like they're going to refund the 10 and a half hours that you paid. Right?
Right.
Just saying.
That's Tommy's church.
Every time you do something wrong, you're thinking in your head, how much is that's going to cost you when you get the flag, and you have to like spend hundreds of dollars an hour to go over how you stole $10.
Right. Yeah.
That's
or
crazy.
how many hours you watched SPTV this week?
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, they're paying to watch this show.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I did hear a story though recently about someone who had to go in for interrogation. This was a few months ago. And not only were they so stressed out about this that they drank like 4 bottles of wine the entire weekend, but then they were point blank asked if they'd been watching SPTV, and they were like, no. And they were like, thank you, your needle is floating.
Wow.
Good.
And that person had been watching every single video that was coming out.
Wow.
Oh God. Yeah. Don't go in there for any reason.
Yeah. The Clearwater sec checkers have their game not on point at this point in time.
Somebody's gonna get in trouble.
Well, when a person thought about SPTV, they were thinking about how much they liked the show, and their needle started floating.
Yes, exactly.
So Catherine Olson said, if you have to delete your Gmail app before you go into the org, you might be a Sea Org member.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah, or if you have to remove your SIM card from your device before you go into the org, you might be a Sea Org member.
Totally.
I think I got an email from somebody that says they use my my concert technique. Whenever I would get interrogated, I would always think of this Depeche Mode concert that I was at in the front row center of the concert, and I would get a floating needle every single time. And somebody wrote to me and this says it works. If you just think of a really, really just overwhelmingly awesome emotional moment, you're good. You're golden. So that's the point for all you Scientologists out there. It's awesome. And then when they asked you, did you?
I was trying to be good all the time, like a duck.
Oh no! Yeah, that ship sailed, Amy. You don't got to worry about that.
They did sail too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
This is another one that Matt said. If you eat your meals like a hungry Rottweiler, you might be a Sea Org member. You got like 2 seconds to eat, and so it's just like. And you're going to starve by the next meal. You don't take breaks. You don't have snacks. You don't nothing, And so it's like what you eat right now in this 2 minutes is what you're going to get. So it just goes in and down fast. That's why mayonnaise is good. It helps glide everything.
I have a question for Matt. So at the Imp base, if the meal was from 12 to 12:30, that really meant the meal ended at, like 28 because you had to get out of there and get ready for muster. So you need at least 2 or 3 minutes to do that for the 12:30 muster. But at the Imp base, if you were walking to the meal at 11:55, that was super taboo. You were not allowed to do that. You had to, if it's like tick, 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 tick. It's 12. Okay, let's go. And then we, walk out the door.
Yes.
Or if you time it right, you can do I'm going to go to the bathroom, 11:50,
Well, check this out, flag. You weren't supposed to leave where you worked until the meal started. But I worked a mile away at the friggin' mill, and I'm not supposed to leave the mill until, like, if the lunch is at 12, I'm supposed to leave the mill at 12.
Yeah. That's exactly.
We didn't have a car.
So they had that system at the Imp Base too, because at the Imp Base it's 550 acres. So if you work at the city council and you want to get there by noon, you got to leave at 11:45. Right. So that's this is something else in the Sea Org. You have a 30-minute meal break, but but travel time is in the 30 minutes.
Exactly. And clean up time and get ready for the monster and all that stuff. You're left with like 4 minutes.
And which brings me to my hack of this. If you run everywhere you go on a full-time basis, just as a matter of habit, you might be a Sea Org member.
Yeah. Well, the other thing was,
I still do it to this day. I'll be like running through the grocery store and my kids will be like, Mom, please slow down. Or Mark does it to me too. He's like,
we literally at the airport, she's like in the Amazing Race. She's, and I'm like, hey, are you getting a prize when we get there? Because I can't, like my hips, just 1 hour with her, my hips and my knees are gone because she's like doing a 5K at the airport. I'm just like, no, not doing it. I'll see you. I'm the one with the car. So you'll be waiting at the other end. No. Anyway, but the other thing I was going to say is, so that was when we had 30-minute meal breaks.
Yeah.
For many of the years I was at the Imp Base, for 1990 to 2005, we had 15-minute meal breaks.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. I was going to say half hour. How many?
And the same rule applies. That's travel time. You can't head out early to spend that 15 minutes. So that eating is a I think I still, probably after we left for about 5 years, I would eat in 1 minute. You're just like, it's almost just like if you could put your mouth on the end of the plate and just push a food in. That's about what you're doing, just like, shovel it in.
And it was so funny. We would go out with my family, and like to the Muckleshoot buffet or something like that, we'd be walking in, and they're like strolling in as a family, the whole rest of the family. They sit down, take off their jackets, put it, we're already getting our food. We come back and, drink orders, or everyone's getting drink orders. We have our plate. We haven't eaten before anybody goes up and gets their plates.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, okay, now what are we going to do?
We had to really work on it. Like it took years, really work on slowing down.
Us too. Our first, or not our first, but we had a very memorable meal at, was it Olive Garden, honey?
It was Marie Callender's.
Yes.
And we went there with my aunt and my dad and his wife.
Yeah.
And we sat down at this meal. And when they brought the food, none of our family ate. They literally just stared at us. They
talk about barbarians.
They literally was like, oh my God, these guys. And we were like, and we looked up and they were just like, all like, they were like, when was the last time you guys ate? Like, this was, to be fair, this was like days after Claire got to Kansas City from escaping, and I had gotten out 2 weeks earlier, but I wasn't going out to eat and, that kind of stuff. So when she got out, my aunt was like, oh, I want us all to get to dinner and find out what you guys are up to. And I'm like, what we're up to?
We're like, what is this going out to dinner you speak of?
It literally was like a wake up call. Like, oh my goodness.
I remember the first time I went to a restaurant, in years, after being on the Int Base. I was still at the Int Base, but we were going to LA and we were able to stop to grab something to eat beforehand. And it was just some like a Denny's or something, and they had vegetable soup. And I'm eating this vegetable soup. This is the best vegetable soup I've ever had in my life.
Denny's soup and sandwich was like Sea Org gourmet dish. Okay,
totally.
It's $4.99 and it's this good.
Exactly. Oh man.
Well, because they don't have seasoning in the Sea Org either.
No,
I know.
Salt and pepper. That's it. That's all we're spending.
Yep. Oh gosh. Okay.
And it
so
is
let's see.
amazing how good food tastes when you haven't eaten well for many, many years. It's just crazy.
Yeah, your body needs it. It needs it so much.
If you let that food mature a little bit up in your ceiling tile for a week or two, it's really, really good.
It's to hide his food.
I know. It's funny.
People are saying that he hid hamburgers up there.
But didn't you also go to a shady part of town that a Sea Org member or Scientologist wouldn't go to?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
it's the best. The best.
Oh my gosh.
Here's another one similar along that line, but not food. It's if you always take 30-second showers, you might be a Sea Org member.
Oh, just as a point.
Yeah.
In the RPF, you're in one of those regular dorms with a regular bathroom like you would have in an apartment. There's 12 guys in there. You have 15 minutes by the clock to do all your business in there with the shower and everything.
And shave.
What do you think that looks like?
But get 12 divided people. By 15.
So you got you have to be naked to start with, waiting in line in the hallway. And when that 60 seconds is yours, man, everybody, you just slide in there and get your shower. Everybody's screaming, "Get out! You ready, man? 63 seconds. Get out there!"
I in my book, I talk about that when I was doing the EPF when I first joined the Sea Org, and we were at the complex, and I was going to get in that line, and I was like, "Oh man, this is like." I'm in a line to take a shower, and there's 10 people already in the shower. It's like a hospital shower room. So there's no stalls or anything. It's just a big room with faucets coming out of the walls. I'm like, oh yeah. And I don't remember what I wrote in the book, but pretty sure I was pretty ripe for that whole EPF because I was like, I'm going to pass on that. I think I'd rather stink than go in there with 10 other dudes I don't know.
Yeah. God, dorms. Oh, my God.
That kind of setup, though, is kind of normal in a school, like for sports and things like that, where you just have one big shower room with, a whole bunch of shower heads. But when you all have to use the same shower head.
But I also didn't.
Tight there.
Yeah, but I also didn't go to a type of school like that. So like Delphi and stuff like that, we didn't have that. So it was definitely like,
Yeah.
And I was, I was 15. So I was a young boy and there were a lot of old men there. And I was like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. No, thanks. Oh my gosh. Awful.
That's actually a really stupid good point.
Yeah. That's a great point. Don't drop the soap. Yes.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah.
Boom.
You got to kick it outside and pick it up.
Yeah.
Here, I gotta pull up a great comment. Love Sherlock is on a roll today.
Yeah.
If you've gone to a quote dentist unquote and your teeth are worse now, then you might be a Sea Org member. Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%.
They pulled out my teeth, put a false thing, teeth started falling off of it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
The amount of times that Marc and I both had dentists be like, who did this work?
Yeah.
They're like, see this right here? That should not be there. That is wrong.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay.
My dentist asked me if I lived in a third world country. That's what he. No, I'm not even joking. He was literally like, this is some of the worst work I've seen in decades. And I was like,
That's all right. I had to get my finger set, and the x-ray was done by the dentist with his machine so the person could set it, and it still points the wrong way.
Oh, no. Oh my gosh.
I'm like, you got to go to the left. And it's like,
Yikes.
The dentist sending your finger for? It was ridiculous.
Yeah. Why are you getting a finger x-ray on a dentist machine?
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so I'm flipping over.
Good medical.
The Scientology side here.
Here's a good one, just while you're digging that up.
Go ahead.
If your feet smell like Limburger cheese, you might be in the Sea Org. This is a very big problem in the Sea Org too, because nobody has more than one pair of shoes in most cases. And if you wear a shoe 120 hours a week, Limburger, if you're lucky.
Limburger probably smells good comparatively.
Limburger. You might even put some Limburger in there to overpower the shoes.
And you can't afford to get the leather shoes that are $120, the Sea Org leather shoes. So you go down to the shoe store that has the plastic shoes for $15, and then you wear them until, you start growing stuff that nobody can recognize.
Oh my gosh, the Sea Organization destroyed many
when
feet.
When the shoes escape on their own, you are in the Sea Org.
When they head to the shower by themselves.
Yeah. When your shoes become self-aware and eat other things, you might be in the Sea Org.
Oh my God.
Your shoes even scare off the BTs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. BTs activate. No, BTs excavate. BTs evacuate.
BT's escape.
BTs evacuate. Yeah. You know what they sold in the canteen? A lot of foot powder. Yes, a ton of foot powder.
If you can't afford foot powder, you might be in the Sea member. Yeah,
what was it? It was Gold Bond.
Yes.
I think Gold Bond
Gold
was the one
Bond.
they'd sell in this in the I think I knew dudes that would just take a shower in the Gold Bond. Just like
where, do you know where it really came to a head though was when people would head for their study time, 2.5 hours. People would be sitting in a room for 2.5 hours, and boy, oh boy, did we have serious ventilation issues. Oh my God.
That's right.
You remember how many times the filters had to be changed because David Miscavige would come through and be like, it smells like somebody died in here.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah,
People
somebody's
would
feet
keep up their
died.
shoes under the table because
Yes. It was
It's so
because
bad.
you're like, oh, I can sit down. Because a lot of us, we had to stand or be ambulatory for our pose. So if you get to sit down for 2.5 hours, like, oh, I got to take these dogs off. Yeah, rest my dogs. And then, and then you playing footsie under the table with somebody else who's got their shoes off. And you're like, oh, shit, that's why it stinks in here. Everybody's got their dogs off, man.
Yeah. One's filled the entire basement.
Kathy Rinder, Mike's wife, Mike's ex-wife. Yeah, no.
That would have been the the FLO area.
PAC or FLO. Or...
I was in the RPO.
Here's a good one too. Gary Jackson Moorhead in the house.
Hey,
if you've been turned away at the gate, meaning the security booth, when trying to go home because you just found out you're on the restricted list. You've lived at Gilman Hot Springs.
Yeah.
How many times?
Did you ever get pulled off the bus, Amy?
I don't know if I was pulled off. I never made it to the stupid bus.
Oh, no. If you were on the restricted list, there would be like, oh, I'm going to get off the list. I'm going to get off the list. But you were sleeping somewhere under your desk or on the property or whatever. And then the person like Gerald or the chief police guy at the bus, he'd be like, okay, you can go home. But he wouldn't update the list. And so then you'd be all excited and I'd tell, hey, I'm coming home tonight.
After not seeing her for about 3 months.
After 6 months.
Not being home.
I'm coming home. I'm on the bus. And then it'd be like,
no,
this is a bunch of bullshit. Security hasn't had their list updated yet. I'm not coming home. And I'd be like, oh,
how would you call her? I never even had.
Well, we had
the next telephone, like chirps, like radios.
Radio.
But yeah, it'd be like, no, I'm back. I'm stuck. Because they had a list and they just walk through the aisles of the bus and they check the list. Do you remember in the old days, we would write our names on a list and they would pass the list up and down.
Yes.
And
they
then,
had to have a list
and then they would give that to the main booth and the main booth would check it and they'd be like, you're all good. Well, you know what happened?
No.
Yes.
Somebody hacked the system.
Yes.
If you're on the restricted list, don't write your freaking name on the list.
You just go through the scribble motions.
Yeah, so you'd get it and you'd be like, no, and hope that the guy that was behind you, who was writing his name, didn't go like, oh, thanks, Mark. And then Amy Scobie's name is right there. And then go, he would just like, and then but yeah, you'd do that in time and you'd be like, then the next, or that night, you get a knock on your door at berthing. Be like, you're restricted to the base, and be like, oh, well, I went on the bus, and be like, yeah, you didn't put your name on the list. I'll be like, oh, did I forget to do that? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
At the hacienda right now, when people leave in the morning, before the bus pulls out to go to work in the morning from the hacienda, a security guard goes on that bus, walks up and down, and checks to see if there's anybody who is supposed to be kept inside the hacienda, like they're routing out or something like that, so they don't get outside the compound where they can escape. So they literally side check the whole thing before it leaves, like it was a prison friggin' bus or something.
So they have the exact same thing, but their secure facility is the berthing,
Right?
because once you get out of the hacienda, you're in the wild. There's nothing they can do. Wow, I didn't realize they did that at Flag too.
Oh yeah, and same thing with the fence shakers on the fence and the spotlights that come on and the roving guard, all that kind of stuff. It's kind of like a little miniature in base at the hacienda to keep people trapped in there.
Yeah, one of the last times we went to Clearwater, Mike and Christy and Claire and we went to the hacienda. And it was right before we were doing lots of stuff on YouTube. But I videoed the whole thing. Maybe I'll cut it together or see if I can find the footage.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
I showed all the cameras, and the gate was open, and I walked right up in there, and they were like, and they closed it. I was like,
we were looking for David Miscavige.
Yeah,
Right.
Remember?
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
we were doing. Yeah.
yeah, we wanted, I was like, let's go see if he's here. And we went to the hacienda, and I was like, isn't that his apartment right there? Mike's like, yeah, it's that one right there. I was like, yeah, I don't see him.
I love that you and Mike got out and were walking around, and Christy and I were like, we'll just stay in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jackson said, if you've ridden on the back of a rover bike at the in-base, you've been in trouble.
Yeah.
Yes, that's for sure.
Oh,
That's
yes.
the ride of shame at the end base.
Getting hauled off by security.
Yeah. If you see
Oopsies.
a normal Sea Org member riding on back of the security bike, you're like, oh, yikes. He's in trouble.
They're in trouble. They're under guard. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that. Why did they always put, oh my God, why did they always put me and other people under watch all the time? Under guard. Like somebody's got to guard me at all times. I mean, you'd think I was.
I think it's because of the people who could have talked their way out, or like somebody was suspicious. You go, oh, no, I'm just going across the property, or, whatever.
Yeah.
But if they have somebody with you, they're like, no, I'm with her. We're going across. So they know.
Right.
Nah.
And also, it was common for people in executive positions or people who had influence that they really wanted to keep those people under wraps.
Yeah.
I was always under watch. It's just ridiculous. Not always, but every time I was in trouble, they put security guards on me, or like whatever. If your church goes through your financial records and knows your credit card information by heart, you might be a Scientologist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you're repeatedly demanded by your quote unquote church to pay, and then pay more. Yeah, all along that line.
Yeah.
And how about this? How about this one? If you receive 50 pounds of church junk mail a month, no matter how many times you've moved, you might be a Scientologist.
Yeah. What about if your church knows the answer to every security question ever invented? You probably are a Scientologist.
Yeah.
Who was your childhood best friend?
Yeah.
What was your mother's maiden name? What was your first pet's name? Yeah, all of those.
They have. Did you grow
all
up
of
on?
them.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. They literally, it was always whenever we filled out this form that Claire is talking about, it's called the life history form. And when you join the Sea Org, you have to write all this stuff down, and you update it like every few years. When you're in the Sea Org, you update your life history, but it has every single possible question, that security questions for banks and credit cards and things like that, what they would ask you if they were to ask you a secret question.
Yep. Exactly.
Crazy.
Very invasive.
Mm-hmm.
The next one, let's go back to Sea Org member now. If you escaped only to be forcefully drugged back, you might be a Sea Org member.
Blown not for good.
Yes.
Blown
Blown failed.
Brought back for good.
Yeah, blown for just a bit.
Blown for a minute.
Brought back for good. That's a good one. Yeah.
And then if you got married a week after meeting someone, you might be a Sea Org member.
Yes.
Yeah, come on.
Completely.
Claire and I waited like at least 2 months.
Yeah.
Did
yeah.
you?
That's a long time. Wow. That's amazing.
It was
You might
just
have the record.
logistics. It was just logistics.
Yeah. Yeah. We were supposed to get married in July, but anyway, it's a long story. It's a story for another day. We got married in August instead. So yeah, like Mark said, it was about 2 months.
And it was torture that month.
after 0 actual dates, by the way.
Yeah.
Can I show this one real quick, a comment?
Of course.
Yep.
Yeah.
If your name is Mark, but a science fiction writer said you have to go by a different name for security reasons, you might be in the Sea Org.
Yep.
Yes.
Very true.
Bada boom.
Yeah, I didn't find out. I'm trying to think. I just recently found out that Matt's name was Mark.
Yeah.
Like within the last
that's
few
hilarious.
years. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
relatively.
Yeah.
Maybe. Or maybe you guys told, because we used to hang out when we first got out too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when you guys came to LA and we were hanging out in Burbank. And
Yeah. When
Yeah.
we had
You
that
know.
We only
film
called him
crew
Matt.
on our
I
front
never
yard.
called him.
Remember
That's
we
what I'm
had
saying.
that film crew?
We always called him Matt. And
Yeah.
so it was just like, it probably never really came up.
Yeah, no, I never called him Mark. It's hard for me to call him Mark. But his family, who all lives here, all call him
Okay.
Mark.
Yeah.
So I go, what do I call you? And the other thing is, all the legal stuff has to be Mark. So I'm like, I write Matt. Oh, and all the people in the neighborhood, I don't know who I said his name was Matt, who I said his name was
I know. It's all screwed up.
screwed up. And people are like, you mean Matt? I say Mark. Oh, did I tell you that was his name?
Oopsie, slip of the tongue.
Yeah.
It's
You
really-
say Matt,
really-
I say Mark, whatever. You say potato, I say patata.
Yeah. There's a
people
lot
ask me,
of
"How's your
Marks,
brother
Matts,
Mark
and
doing?"
Mikes. Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
This Salty Beach girl, Lori. So many Marks, Matts, and Mikes. Yeah, there really are a lot.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh man, yeah, it gets me. This stupid thing, this Matt Mark thing. I tell you.
I might just change it again, just make it easier.
That would be awesome. Call yourself Max. just
I should just change it every month,
just to jack with everybody, just like, I've really decided I've been living a lie. I want to be Max now.
I identify as a Max.
Yeah, identify as a Max.
Ah,
His
that's too much.
His Royal Highness Max. That's what I want my name
There we
to be.
go. You know what? To each their own.
Terrified. Ask you in the morning.
What should I call you today?
Yeah,
No. You say, "Who are you today, honey?"
yeah,
Let me ask my BTs. Hold on a second.
yeah, exactly. I've got a lot of Max BTs.
I'm awaiting input. One standby.
Yeah.
This one falls right into that. If you've been married and divorced at least 3 times, you might have been a Sea Org member.
Yeah. Somebody else
Yeah.
commented that. If you've been
A lot.
married and divorced 6 times and you're 16 years old, you might be a Sea Org member.
Yeah.
Oh, that is funny.
You joke, but there was some pretty active young females at the Imp base.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, there were indeed.
yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I
So
was
much for the
16.
most ethical beings on the planet.
Well,
There was a mix in there too.
I
Yeah,
think
but
it's
a
the
lot of-
guy's fault, really. But anyway.
no.
Oh,
No, let's not blame guys or gals. A lot of times, a couple be married, and then one of them get RPF'd, and then they're never going to come back. So it's like, okay,
I know
you got to drop that. The best is
that
that
happened. A lot
there was,
to me.
I know of at least 3 couples where one of the couples escaped. And then when they went to go file for divorce, the person who married them, usually a Sea Org member, never filed the paperwork when they married them. So they were never married, which was, it was like the whole reason we got married is so we wouldn't do anything illegal. And we did a ceremony of that, but we were never married. So it's like, so that whole thing was illegal.
That was me too.
No.
What?
Well, both of my marriages in the Sea Org.
I was married for 21 years and I wasn't married.
Yeah.
What are the chances that I would say that and 2 people out of the 4 people that it both happened to? That really did happen to both of you twice. Oh, and
she
my
thinks
goodness.
we're still married. She thinks we're married.
Matt's like, hey, ask me if I want to get married. I do. Okay, we're married. That's how it works in the real world. That's what you do.
The only reason Mark and I
Pinky promise.
The only reason Mark and I actually have a marriage license is because I was 17. So we had to go to Vegas and get a marriage certificate, which we got. And then Scientology lost it. So then we got another copy of it. So yeah, there you have it.
Yeah, but
the early days at the Int base, when you wanted to get married, you had to go to Tijuana.
Right.
That's where everybody got married. You go to Tijuana, you go down there, and there's some little hut thing, and you knock on the front door, and the guy comes out with his T-shirt on and stuff like that. He's got a beard. He's like, "What are you doing here?" Like, "I'm here to get married." "Oh, that's $10. I'll be right back." He goes, comes out with a piece of paper. Yeah, everybody's happy. You bring that back to the Int base, and everybody's like happy. You get your room.
Wow.
You get your room.
Yeah. Well, that's another perk in the Sea Org, because if you're single, then it's asses and cracks with everybody else and 12 guys in a room. But and Limburger. Yeah, Limburger toes. And but if you're married, you get one room, that same size room, you could just share with one person. So it's like, yeah.
Except that flag. When I got married the second time,
I
wanted to get a room for marriage, and I was told it's a 6-month waiting list. I'm like, you gotta be, you got to return to your dorm. It's like for 6 months. So I was like, okay, is there some kind of room that nobody can use, but if I fix it, it'll be mine? And that had no air conditioning, no window, it didn't have a wall, didn't have a door. I know. I stayed up that night and I built the whole room, whole thing. So we were in there the next day. But otherwise, that's telling me 6-month waiting list. I was supposed to return to my dorm. I'm like, bye-bye.
Yeah.
That happened to us too.
But we get to sit next to the bus.
Yeah.
On the bus.
You're like, this chick could be RPF'd in 6 months. I'm not going to get anything out of this. When Claire and I got married, it was all set up. And she wasn't in RTC yet. She was still in Golden Era Productions. So we were both in gold. So that's... might as well be next to the horse trough. We're not getting anything special. But it was all set up. And it was like, okay, this person's going to move and this is all going to happen. You guys are going to get married on Saturday. Everything will be ready by Sunday. Well, they called Claire back early. So we got married on Friday.
No, Saturday. Well, we got our license at midnight on Friday night.
That's right.
We had our ceremony at Celebrity Center on Saturday, and I was back at work in Gilman Hot Springs, California by 6 p.m. on Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, there's your honeymoon.
They literally, she was all approved, and they said, no, you got to come back. Mm-hmm. So then I said, okay, well then I'll just move our room. I'll move everyone's. And they said, oh yeah, the room thing fell through. And I said, oh, that's what you think. And so Claire lived in a female dorm, and she had 3 girls in her room, and there was 3 girls in the other room, and there was 1 girl in the living room.
No. There had been 3 girls in the other room.
Oh yeah.
But one of them had just escaped, and she
escaped while we were getting married. She escaped. Okay. So I was like, perfect. The 2 that live with Claire, they don't live with Claire no more. And I took all their stuff and I moved them into the other rooms. Oh, boy. And when they came home, they didn't have a room. They had been moved. And I moved all my stuff in, and I had the bed, and it was all set. And there was nothing left of any of those girls. But because Claire lived there with me now, I left her stuff in there. And all these girls are like, this is not okay. I'm writing a report. I'm like, write a report. Don't talk to me. I'm not in charge of rooms. That's services. You got to talk to services. Write a KR on services. And then within a week, the girl that lived, one of the girls that lived in that other room, she got married. And so the whole thing just got turned into couples birthing.
Right.
So,
how about the privacy problem? I mean, I had one of those G units when we got married. And when you opened the front door and walked in, you were in our bedroom. I mean, that was it right there. And then when I needed to go to the bathroom, I had to walk through somebody else's bedroom. So there was like no privacy. Oh, for real. I mean, you know who in the house had action that night. It was like, that's what in those little stupid places too.
Well, that's what I did with when there was a girls' dorm. They were like, "This is a girls' dorm. You can't live in a girls' dorm." I'm like, "No, you can't live in a couple's dorm. That's how this is going to work." And if I wanted to force the issue, I just walk around in my underwear, and they'd be like, "We got to get out."
Or take your shoes off. You can just take your shoes off.
No, I mean, to be fair, my feet weren't that bad, but the underwear is a much better deterrent than the feet. You know.
Oh man.
Because none of these, all these other girls were young girls too. So like in their, 16, 17, 18 for the most part, or like
if they
low
saw
20s.
they'd be getting security checked for like a month.
Exactly. That's your problem, hon. I'm not got. I don't mind when we have a conversation, but when your pictures get all wound up, that's on you. Okay. You want me to put the underwear back on? Okay, I can put the underwear back on.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I can see my paper to see the next thing. Okay. Yeah. If you haven't had a single day off in years, you might be a steering member. I went 7 years or something without a day off.
Oh,
you know what? Marc had the record of the most number of days off. So you know how you could get a day off every 2 weeks in the early days.
Yeah.
Didn't you have the record, honey, of like 3 years in a row or something where every other week you had a day off?
What? I did. I really did. But Linnea, my boss, Linnea Baker, her and I had a system. So we had the same. I had the night shift job. She had the day shift job. So on her weeks that she needed to be up to go on libs, I wouldn't check as many tapes and she checked more. And then on my week, she wouldn't check as many. So we'd always be down on our not libs week, but we'd both always be up on our libs week. And and I lived at the apartments, but I was on the night shift. So I would sleep by the pool every single day. I would just sleep out on a lawn chair and get super, super tan. And I would usually sleep till noon. Like we'd get home at 8:30 in the morning and I'd sleep out in a pool chair till noon. And then at noon, I'd be so just tired. And then also I've been sunbathing all morning, so that's exhausting.
Yeah, that's hard.
And then
your underwear, of course.
Yeah, I was wearing a banana hammock, like a nice little tight Speedo. I didn't want bad lines. And then by the time libs would come, I would be ready to party on Sunday. I'd be like, good to go.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I got in trouble for that a lot, but what are you going to do?
Yeah.
I
Oh my gosh.
Prove that I had every Saturday off, no matter what the stats were. I got Saturday off.
Really?
Any serial member ever had that before?
Yeah.
Yeah. How long?
I said I get Saturdays off, or I'm out of here. I'm gonna start hitchhiking the West Coast. You want me to stay and get every Saturday off? You want me to like sayonara? I'm out of here. But I said no, stay. You can have every Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
She put it in there. Cynthia.
If you smoke refries,
isn't that on your list, Amy?
I have it on the list. Yeah. For sure.
There you go.
There is that refries.
Yes.
So I said, if you smoke refries, someone else's butts, because you have no money to buy your own.
Yeah.
Yes.
You remember. Yeah.
If you even know what a refry is, you're probably a SEERG member.
Yeah.
I don't think
Actually,
is that a real world thing? I don't think so.
No.
I don't know.
I think Marc came up with that word. Didn't you?
No.
That word?
Well, that's what I used to call it. I don't know what they're really. We just called them refries because if you smell them, it's the worst stink. If you smoke a cigarette halfway and then put it out and then come back tomorrow and dig that out of the ashtray, break that. Though this is the worst part. Rick Cruzen
always got special treat.
Rick Cruzen used to do this.
Stupid things.
You're supposed to break that old cherry off. You don't want to smoke that. That's nasty.
Yeah, definitely.
Smoking somebody else's cigarette is already nasty enough. But if you don't break that old cherry off and relight that thing, ooh, that's some more Limburger material right there. It says the worst smell. But
no, it is not a real world thing.
Refries. I'm gonna get my there's when we used to edit the lectures, we would have to edit out burps and we'd have to edit out farts and whatever L. Ron Hubbard did in the lecture, you have to edit that out. And we know they're called butts, but when you recycle them, they're called refries.
They should add refries to the Scientology dictionary.
No, the Urban Dictionary. Well, that's what I was going to say. In the Urban Dictionary, this is where this would belong, refries.
Yeah.
But when we used to edit out the burps and farts, there's a couple where L. Ron Hubbard farted and burped at the same time in the lecture. And so that is called, Tom Segura, he calls that a double pipe classic, but L. Ron Hubbard was in the military. And so if you're in the military, that's called a dual flute salute. So that is the thing that needs to be an Urban Dictionary, is the dual flute salute. So clip this. Caden, please clip this. Double pipe classic. If you're in the military, it's the dual flute salute.
There you go.
And now we have refries. So we got to keep track of these.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Oh, my goodness. Dear, oh, dear.
How about this for the Sea Org, right? If you call your mother or your daughter sir, you might be in the Sea Org.
Or your wife.
Or your sister or your wife or your grandmother. I used to have to call Claire sir for like a decade, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I used to have to call her sir. Or if
Mr. Headley.
Or if we were in a group of people, or if I was talking about her and she wasn't there, I'd have to say, I'll have to get back with Mr. Headley and ask her. And they'd be like, really?
Awkward.
And I'm like, yeah.
Wait, I can't even see. Hold on.
Somebody says a fart and a burp is a double dragon.
Double dragon. Boom.
Oh,
Thanks for educating us, Linda. We appreciate it.
Oh, my God. I knew that this was going to be a funny one, but I'm literally in total stitches here.
Oh, here we go. See, I don't make stuff up. No. I just Googled refry, and it is a real world word.
Wow.
See?
Boom. You learn something new every day.
Okay.
Skadoosh.
Yeah. See? Refry. Yeah. Well, I don't know.
There you go.
It could have originated at the M-Pace.
Yeah, it could have. It could have. Now that Amy said that, you are the first person I ever heard of a refry from, honey. So
no, I know, but
yeah,
but I was a smoker, and I knew people that dabbled in refries. So
I dabbled in refries when I had no money, and I was. I'm telling
Amy.
I'm telling you, I'm guilty of going down at MCI,
Oh my God!
Yeah, that's another one. That's another one. If having a cigarette is more important to you than eating food, you're probably a Sea Org member in deep caca.
Yeah.
Oh usually.
God. Yeah, usually.
Because I smoked cigarettes and I drank coffee like nobody's business because I didn't eat and I didn't sleep.
Right.
It's the only thing that kept my adrenaline going or whatever. But
yeah.
And then if I ran out of that because I didn't have any money, what a stupid crap hole that place was. But I have been known to indulge in refries. Okay, I already confessed that earlier, so don't act shocked.
It says refry. This is from Urban Dictionary.
We're among friends, Amy. It's all good. I don't judge you for that. Don't judge you for anything.
A cigarette that's been put out and then relit later, a recycled cigarette. No, I don't got any smokes. I've only got this refry, though. And that's from some Alicine Manson from January 8, 2005. So we were calling them at refries at the base since the early 90s.
Yeah,
So
I was going to ask for the etymology study, so thanks for including that. So yes, refries existed before that. So this may be a strange, Sea Org meets real world situation.
Yeah.
Refries. They made it into the real world.
Like if you make a pack of cigarettes out of refries.
That was Rick Cruzen's move. Because he worked all the way up at one of the studios at the top of the hill. So he'd mine the ashtrays at lunchtime, fill up his pack, and then he'd smoke refries for the rest of the day, at least until the next meal.
Yeah. Because MCI was the MCI ashtray, which is everyone walking down to your meal. That's when you smoked a cigarette on your way to go to the meal. You would smoke a cigarette. So the ashtray outside the dining hall was full of half-smoked cigarettes, and so that was your treasure island.
Oh my God! Gonna get to the booty.
Oh my goodness!
Digging through,
Let's just pause. Let's pause and be thankful for the lives we now have.
Oh, I am every day. Yeah. Every day, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
So somebody's watching this right now, smoking a refry, going, "Really? It's not that bad." Come on. Cigarettes aren't going to smoke themselves.
Let no good cigarette go to waste.
I started smoking refries when I was like 9 years old because my mom smoked Tarrington cigarettes, and she would smoke just like the first third or something and put them out. And so,
man, you were born free fryer.
You lost Marc, Amy.
That's
out.
9? What?
By the time I was 12, I was smoking in front of both of my parents.
No.
What?
Mm-hmm. I was a smoker. Yeah.
Wow. Amy, dang.
I'm blown away.
Both my parents smoked.
Yeah, were you in a biker gang as well? Or what else were you doing when you were 12? Dang.
Oh my gosh.
She's a gangster. Amy.
Wow.
So here's the next one. It says, if you work for 30 cents an hour, you might be a Sea Org member.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If 40 cents an hour means you're in affluence, you are definitely a Sea Org member.
Totally.
Oh my gosh.
I think I said already, if you haven't seen your family in a decade, right?
Yeah.
Or if you haven't had a single day off in years, and if you haven't seen your family in a decade, yes.
If you only ever tell your family, everything's wonderful, I'm doing great, you're probably a Sea Org member.
If you use good roads, fair weather in every conversation outside the property,
Yes.
Or if you have security listen in on every phone call and check every single message you send off the base.
Yep.
Yeah. That was a real shock to me when I got to the base and they had to listen in on the calls. That was to me like, what? And when you have to, if you write a letter to your family, you have to put it in the envelope and not seal it so they can read it. Because if you try to, please help me. Then,
it's like this. Hello, Mother. Everything is wonderful. I am doing great. I have a very happy life. Goodbye.
Yeah, you got to do that in the letter too.
And if you're in the RPF and it's Christmas Day, everybody gets like 3 minutes to call home.
They're all in a line.
And all in the line. Everybody's listening to the phone call, and there's a security guard sitting there listening to it. And when your 3 minutes is up, you're off that phone, and next guy's there.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
And the only reason why they let people do that is so that people aren't sending police in to search for you.
Yeah.
You're supposed to touch base, let them know I'm fine. Anything else? No, bye.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why we have those. Sometimes I use them for thumbnails now. We have Claire and I have all these pictures over the years of us dressed up for Christmas because at the base, they would encourage you to take a nice picture and then they'd make a bunch of prints so you could send it to your family. And, but you had to pay for it. They didn't pay for it. You had to pay them to take a picture of you and then print it out. And then you'd send it to your relatives. But so even though Scientology didn't give us all our photos when we left, all of our family that we had sent those pictures to
Yes.
every year had a
Had
whole
it, right?
set. And so when we got out, my dad's like, oh yeah, I've got a picture, not every year, but a lot of the years he's got a picture of us. So we at least got those now. And
and the
Wanna see
craziest
something funny?
well, the craziest thing about those photos, just to close that out, there's at least 2 or 3 of them where Mark and I are there smiling, and we hadn't seen each other in 6 months because he'd been restricted to the property, not allowed to come home.
Yeah.
And we're like, geez.
Yeah. And we would literally, I'd be like, hey, or I'd call her on the phone, like on her desk. I say, hey, can you come at the next meal? They're going to do pictures if you can come. Oh, and you had to do it during your meal break. So that 15-minute meal break, you had to do that picture during that time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I told her the next gold meal break, they're going to do this or the next int one. And then I just go to the int meal. I'd just be like, whatever. I'm doing a picture with Mr. Headley from RTC. and so, but then I'd be like, hey. And she'd be like, hey. And then we do the picture and be like, what's up? I'd be like, yeah. She'd be like, you ever coming home? Be like, okay, see you later. Bye. Because we weren't on the same meal schedule either. So we didn't see each other for meals. We didn't see each other during the day because I worked in a totally different place. And so, they're the best. Claire knows exactly which one it is. She'd also hadn't slept when we did the photo. So she was up for like 2 or 3 nights before we did the photo. And she's like this. The picture, she hates this photo.
I literally gag when I see this picture. I'm just like, people are like, oh, that's such a great picture. I'm like, no, it's not.
She was about 100 pounds because she hasn't been eating in months. I was like, restricted. I was restricted to the property, but she was in big trouble in RTC. And the reason she was in trouble is because she wouldn't divorce me. And amongst other nonsense. But this picture, she's like the most fake smile.
I'm sure I was like digging my nails. That was my go-to move, was to dig my nails into my palms to stay awake. That was one of those photos. Like, it was awful. Yeah,
that was torture. That was torture. Those sleepless days and nights and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man.
One of those Christmas, everyone, Jim and I, got our pictures taken Christmas. Okay, so he had been up for I don't know how many days. He had like stubble all over, a big coal sore in the middle of his lip and black circles under his eyes. So I sent it to my family.
And you're like, he looks
at least
great.
At least we're alive.
Yeah, they you probably never even noticed the thing. That's the thing I noticed with all of the pictures. Like in all the pictures we have, Claire looks pretty good. Claire's looked like Claire since, the early 70s. She's looked just the same.
I wasn't born in the early 70s, honey.
When were you born?
1975.
Okay, that's the early mid 70s. Anyway,
that's exactly dead mid.
Okay, whatever.
You don't get more mid than that.
Jeez Louise. Claire looked like Claire before even Claire was Claire. But I literally look like somebody stabbed me in the face right before we did the photo. Like,
oh no.
Everyone, like just a big red mark right here. Horrible hair. 163
pounds by the time I got off the int base. I had lost 40 pounds.
What?
At 6'4", I was 163.
Oh my!
My wife was like, "Your hips, bones were sticking out. I can see your ribs." I mean, that's how much weight I lost there.
Yeah,
I was not that far off either. I'm 5'7", and I was like 97 pounds by the time I escaped. I mean, it was really bad.
I could
really
I could grab Claire by her waist and just pick her up right in front of me, just like this. That's how light she was.
I had to dance in the shower to get wet.
Oh my goodness.
Mark used to call me a T-Rex because my spine protruded so far.
There was not a lot of fat on the bone back then. It's definitely lean, mean Sea Org machines.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we were kind of talking about this, but if you require special approval to use the internet or to make a phone call, then you might be a serial
In the
member.
early days at the int base, you had to go 45 minutes away, get driven by security 45 minutes off the base to then make a phone call
From
with
a
them
phone
listening.
booth.
Yeah, from a phone booth. That's
Yeah.
how it worked back then.
Didn't you have to go to Riverside?
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to go to Riverside from San Jacinto / Hemet, Gilman Hot Springs, to go to a payphone, even though there were payphones right down the road. I mean, you could have just gone down Sanderson 5 minutes away. There's a payphone right there.
Right.
If you'd never heard of email in 2005, you would
Yeah.
definitely see our member.
Yeah.
Oh my God! When we got out of the Sea Org in 2005, and I had to start using a laptop, I had no idea even how to turn it on, and it's not like I can Google it because I didn't know what Google was. So
Yeah.
I flipped through the yellow pages to find a technician to come to my house
And tell you how to use it.
and
Yeah.
paid him
Oh my
$100 to
gosh.
turn on my stupid
And just
thing.
show us some little basics and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Man.
Yeah.
That's why, Mark
how
and
many
I always laugh
stones-
about our kids. They're always, nowadays, they always tell us, search it up.
Yeah.
Search it
And just
up.
search it up. Just search it up. How many stones is 100 pounds, babe?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Sorry, English
actually-
people.
No, it's okay. I saw somebody talking about that. Hold on.
Oh, yeah. They're
I saw
asking how.
somebody answered the question though.
Oh,
I don't
even
know, but
better.
it was like
oh, yeah.
six-
There you go. 6.9 stones for all
There you
you English folks.
Yeah.
I wasn't that much more. I mean, I was probably 10 stones. I don't know what that means, but
Stone is the
few
UK
extra
equivalent of pounds.
no, I know that. I'm guessing
Yeah.
from 6.9, it's about 7
6.9
pounds.
was 97 pounds. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
so it's
it's
about
probably about
close to 100.
$1.70.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Fun.
If you exclusively read church propaganda and are forbidden to read anything else, you might be a Sea Org member. Do
Yeah.
you remember when David Miscavige made us all put Way to Happiness booklets in our back pockets?
Oh,
walked
that's
around. Do you remember?
right.
I don't
Yes.
All
remember
had
that.
to have them in
Yes.
our back pockets. And
Well, they didn't have to do it in RTC. They had to do that
Yeah.
down in Gold and CMON.
CMON.
And
Yeah, we had to.
yeah, I remember.
went-
Do you?
It didn't fit in my back pocket very good.
No.
So there's a policy where Hubbard wrote about how Hershey's, they gave all the employees chocolates and this whole thing. Everyone at the Int Base got a chocolate bar, a Hershey's
I
bar.
remember that.
And it was a symbolic fuck you to the Sea Org members at the Int Base from David Miscavige.
Yep.
And he was going around being like, "Did you get my thing?" And people would be like, "Yes, sir. Sorry." And then when he came to our area, he's like, "You guys get anything down here?" And be like, "Yeah, thanks, sir. That was fucking delicious." Yeah. You weren't supposed to eat it. You were supposed to we're bad.
Feel
we're bad."
degraded because Hershey.
You sent me a
company-
chocolate bar. I'm gonna eat that bar.
What about when we were all made to read The End of Marketing as We Know It and given a bottle of Coca-Cola?
Yes.
I remember that. That. Yeah.
Well, go ahead and tell the Hershey story, Amy, because there's a reason.
Yeah, because the Hershey company apparently did terrible because it had everything good for staff members.
Yes.
It actually
Employees,
let them have
the workers.
employees, the
Yeah.
workers. It let them have days off. It gave them benefits and had a nice workplace, and they failed. And that was L. Ron Hubbard's point. Is basically you need to muster the bayonets. You need to
The nicer you are,
What's good for the worker?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's good for the worker may or may not be good for the company, but what's good for the company is always good for the worker. That
And
was the moral
and
of the
I
story.
at least will say that in that policy, it was specifically that Hershey factory treated the workers very, very well, and yet they rebelled.
Yeah.
Right,
Yes.
exactly.
And that was a big part of it. It was not just that the company failed; it was that the well-treated workers rebelled.
Yeah. And David Miscavige was always saying how well treated we were. Look how green the grass is. I didn't give a crap about the stupid green grass. That we weren't licking the grass. We weren't doing anything with the stupid grass, And look, there's a sports field. Yeah. Have you ever been on it? No. I mean, I can't stand that.
How about his lawyer going on Anderson Cooper to show a basket full of pastries that were made at the kitchen in base to show that it was some kind of paradise.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
These were baked at the in base, galley. Okay.
And meanwhile, her eyes were rolling back in her friggin' head.
Blink.
She was blinking and her eyes were rolling back like so. It was all like a shark. I was like,
blinkety blink.
I thought she was gonna turn her head 360 and start throwing up pea soup or something.
It's a fembot.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, was that when we got the chocolate bars, was that the same time when we were given packs of gum so we could walk and chew gum at the same time?
No, that was a separate.
You remember that? That was a separate one. Oh,
these were always happening. It was like
always.
Dave Miscavige would read something and be like, "That's a great idea. Let's get this book, give it to every person, and give them a bottle of Coke as well, so they know that's where that came from. This is a marketing thing." And it was just like the people at the base are like, no, just like, what? Am I supposed? And that was the best one. Am I going to get in trouble if I drink the Coke? I mean, I got in trouble for eating the candy bar. Am I going to get in trouble for drinking the Coke? It's like, great.
Yeah. Should you have read Harry Potter? Should you not have read Harry Potter?
That's
should
right.
you live on the base? Should you not live on the base?
Right.
And then
What's
it's
that?
like exactly. You never knew what was going to be the thing that triggered something. I always seem to find it though.
You weren't allowed to read Harry Potter at Flag.
At any place either.
Off limits.
No.
You couldn't touch it.
No.
Yeah, because he was a wizard or something like that. Was like, somehow competing with Otinus or something.
Well, no. Yeah.
Really?
Expeliosos. BTs. Expeliosos.
Expelliarmo, I think it is. I could be wrong.
Hey, with the BTs, you got to use Expeliosos. Okay, that's what they know.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to want to be an OT, but now I want to be a wizard.
Yeah.
Because I read one of these books.
Can you imagine if people are switching teams? I don't tell you. I like the Sea Org, but Gryffindor sounds like a lot of fun.
Then you get your magic wand.
Yeah. I went to the Sorting Hat, and it said I need a GTFO out of here.
Oh my goodness.
Having a phone at all is considered out ethics, and if discovered, the phone gets confiscated. You might be a Sea Org member.
Completely. Yes.
If you don't know which continent your children live on, you might be in the Sea Org.
And that's happened.
Oh yeah.
Or which continent you live on.
Yeah, that's right.
Remember that used to be a thing at the Imp base? David Miscavige would go, who's the prime minister of blah, blah? And people would be like, what's a prime
You got
minister?
me, sir. You
Yeah.
got me.
I know.
Or what about this one? If your coworkers have children and you have no idea, you are definitely a Sea Org member.
Oh God.
KJ.
Yes.
Who knew? KJ,
Yes.
did you know KJ had kids?
No, I had no idea that she had.
That was
At least
when
3.
Miriam showed up. Was it
Yes.
Miriam?
Yes.
Yeah.
Miriam. And what's the brother's name? Sam?
Yep.
When I found out she had 2 kids, I was
No,
like,
I think she has 3, if not 4.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when I found out she had 2, I was like,
I know.
what?
It's shocking. I know.
Yeah, there was
It's
when
really
I was
bad.
doing some of those lives with Laura, and we were going through all these kids, and I'm like, that's the parents. I had no idea that. I worked with them for ages. I had no idea that they had kids out at the ranch a couple of miles away.
Because you couldn't have any
Crazy.
photographs of your family and loved ones in your workspace.
Right.
No.
Yes. No, they were banned.
That's true. You couldn't
Yeah.
have any personal effects at all, really. I mean,
No.
even if you had a mug, it was like, better be a really nice mug. Otherwise, it's got to go.
And after
supposed to be a
we
robot.
escaped, they changed it so that even in your personal living quarters, you could not have any personal family photos or personal effects. You had to reduce your belongings down to one trunk of clothing, which was basically your uniform, which, you know, and maybe one set of clothing, and that was it. Like nothing personal could be in your room.
If they ever learn how to mind wipe people so that they forget the whole background, all their family,
like Severance.
just be a robot.
Severance. Yeah, Severance.
Yeah.
All the way.
Have you guys
Have
seen
you seen
Severance?
that show?
No.
No.
It's Apple TV. Oh my gosh.
It's like the Sea Org. They have a Sea Org, and then they have their personal life, but their Sea Org life doesn't know about their personal life, and their personal life doesn't know about their Sea Org life.
Yeah.
And so in the Sea Org is just like Severance, but you don't have the personal life part. You just have the Sea Org. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you know.
When the people in Severance leave at the end of the day, they go through this mind warp and they come out not having no recollection of anything that they worked on, anything that they did, and it's
Nothing.
really crazy to watch that from a Scientology Sea Org perspective. You go like, whoa, this is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would be horrendous.
Yeah.
KJ is her name is Carrie Francis. I'm not sure why we called her KJ, but she was a Sea Org member that worked at the Imp base. Her daughter Miriam and was on the Aftermath show, right? Mm-hmm. Was on the Aftermath show.
Season two.
Season 2. And then she has a son as well. And she might have another brother, or they might have another brother or sister somewhere floating around. But I knew KJ for 15 years. Never knew she had any kids.
No. I was like, okay, hold on. I actually know your mom. Are you kidding? That's your mom?
Do you know that one of her kids was like 6 weeks old when she went to the Imp base? I mean, it's terrible. It's absolutely heartbreaking and terrible.
6 weeks old.
Anywho, she left that baby in Australia and went to the United States of America.
Well,
like, seriously, what in the world?
I know. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So mustering, if you have to muster up several times a day, we already know that. Like, get up, muster, get on the bus, get in, muster, eat something, muster, go up to the roll call at the course room, then muster up after lunch, and then muster up after dinner, and then there's mandatory all hands muster up, and then muster up before the end of the night.
Sometimes they'd muster at the buses. There'd be a muster.
Yep.
So they could figure out, okay, who's not going on the bus, who's going on the bus. Like, we're going to do this as a group so we don't get any more people slipping out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was at the Imp base. That was one of the main purposes of the musters, just to get a head count, just so we know we haven't missed anybody, because that's a lot of time. If you skip out during the day and they don't catch you till the morning muster, then you had a whole 12-hour head start. So they gotta keep track as much as we can.
Yeah.
You know, when you're there and doing it, you don't think it's because they're trying to see if you're going to be blowing or not, because you're not thinking about blowing, you know, or at least.
Or you're asserting you're not going to blow. Do not blow. Do not blow. I'm not going to blow. I'm not going to blow. I'm not going to blow. Ah, I'm blowing.
Don't think about blowing. Don't think about blowing.
Yeah, I remember.
I want to be here. I want to be here. I want to be here. I do not want to be here.
Yeah. I remember that it was a big deal if you had never blown. It was not a lot of people that were in that category by 2005. It's like you were
like you had, it was a hard time to find somebody that didn't, because that's a requirement to be posted in the personnel department, you know, the first department over personnel and all that, and ethics. It's called HCO, Hubbard Communications Office. That has a requirement of no blow history. And so when you're trying to man that up, it's hard to find somebody who never took off before.
Well, Gary Moorhead said that when he was security chief, he brought back 400 people.
Right.
Really?
Was it 400?
400. No, he said 400.
400 people that blew and that were recovered,
got away, were
and
hunted
dropped
down,
back.
and brought back 400. He said.
And that doesn't count
know
the
they
people
got that
were
many.
successful. That doesn't count the people that were successful.
Well, yeah.
So, like,
That
that's not how many
count the
people
ones that got,
escaped.
you know, stuck in the the top of the fence. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my God. Or the
Buried
ones
on
that fell in a ditch.
subway.
Yeah, I know. It's terrible. It's really sad.
There's a person that emailed us. I don't know. I'm not going to say their name, but they jumped over the fence. They got cut up, but they did jump over the fence, and they did get away. But when they were escaping, they didn't know where they were, and they were from a European country, so they didn't have any documents. They didn't have anything. When they were escaping, they got onto a farm property, and the farmer almost shot them to death. They were rummaging around the property, like going around the property, and he came out with a shotgun. It was like, "What are you doing on my property?" And they were like, "No," and in foreign language. "Oh, no, but nothing. No, I'm just trying to get to a phone or highway or something." And luckily, he did not shoot them. But then, but that farmer ended up helping them get to somewhere. But
Thank goodness.
That's an adjacent property to the base that this person stumbled
PR
upon.
Area control, Scientology, good PR area control.
Crazy.
Yep. Well, we could go on. I think we'll have to do part 2 on this. Should we do some giveaways and do questions and wrap up for tonight? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Awesome.
Okay, so let's see. What I was going to do is get people to start saying, "Pick me." So let's decide what it is we're giving away.
Okay. And is it pick me with a space or pick me all together?
Oh, God.
Hashtag
What does
pick
that
me, all
matter?
one word.
It's on the giveaway. It's very specific.
Oh, this is the. I got so
fired.
much heat.
I got
for
fired from doing this.
riffing. Here, Claire's trying to do the giveaway in the fundraiser video, and I'm just riffing like, okay, well, just keeping it no dead air. And people were like, "You were so mean to Claire." I'm like, I watched the video back. I was like, I don't think so. I don't know.
Yeah. You're so hardened. You're hardened to.
I know. Is it hashtag pick me, one word?
Pick me, all one word. Pick me, all one word.
Hashtag pick me.
Okay.
And what
then
are we getting? What are we giving away?
So I say, let's first do a signed Blown for Good book. There you go.
You gotta use hashtag pick me because the computer's doing it now. So if you say bracelet pick me or the computer will ignore that result. It has to be hashtag pick me, all one word. This is all AI is doing this now. We have no control. I'm not sure why it's hard just to push the button, but the computer's going to pick you. So we'll see. Oh, by the way, when I asked Claire after the live, I was like, "Okay, show me what you were trying to do." And she pulls it up and I go, "Okay." And she goes, "Yeah, it says right here, put this. I go, "Well, how's it work?" She goes, "I don't know." I said, "Do you see that button? It says watch tutorial. Did you watch that?" She goes, "No, I didn't have time." I was like, "Oh, okay. I get it." Yep. Did you watch it now? Did you watch it now?
So I watched it, and you know what's so funny? Right this second, when I go to present and share screen, and I go to the, I wonder if it's Chrome that's doing that. But
I think we just picked somebody. I know exactly what's happening to you, Amy. It happened to me too. Even though the fact of the matter is, I didn't watch the tutorial, but I watched the tutorial after this conversation with Mark, and I was like, I did exactly what it said to do.
Now I'm going to try something just out of the box. Okay. I haven't seen the tutorial. I haven't did it. Look, I did it. I just pushed the button. There it is. The winner. Tammy, pick me. Look, I could do more too if you want. It's just click it.
No.
How many do you want to do?
Hey, we're gonna make it fun, and figure it out later. But for now, tonight, we're gonna go ahead and just do pick me. Okay, Claire, I understand I understand your situation.
I feel so relieved that I'm not the only person in this entire universe that couldn't do this. So
do we do two? Debbie
Sherbuck. So
and
Amy,
Tammy.
Do you want to do a book, or should this one be merch from the Blown for Good store? Either way is fine.
Well, it doesn't matter because they can pick a book from the Blown for Good store too.
Yep.
They just need to email you. Debbie, email Claire at blownforgood.com, and Tammy.
There we go.
And also Tammy.
This is somebody
you're doing a
it
third. Okay.
This is mine.
There you go. Perfect.
So Jesus is God.
What
So
is
you
the
get a book.
purpose? What is the purpose of StreamYard clicking those buttons? That's what I'm.
It's just
Because
a fun.
you got to understand, it rolls everybody's name. It doesn't do any duplicates, and if they won something before, it doesn't have their name in the hat for continuing to win. And it does, and it rolls them really fast, and then it slows down. It shows all their names, and then it goes boom with confetti and everything. It's really fun.
This is amazing. You guys should get this working.
Yeah,
I've done it successfully before, and it's like frozen for some reason now. So anyway,
and you did it on Chrome?
I may have broken it. It could have been me.
No, it wasn't. But anyway, so my email for the winner of my book is amy@scobie-publishing.com. Send me an email with your contact information, your address, where you want me to send it, and we'll get it off to you. Congratulations.
Yay.
Perfect.
Awesome. All right. We'll run through the questions now, and we will wrap it up for today. So let's see. Here we go. Sandra Hartley, if you have no sense of humor, you might be a Scientologist.
Yeah.
Yes.
Abigail.
Sorry.
Okay.
I'll click, you read.
Okay. Abigail S. Mark, are you still able to do the hand gesture side effects? Aaron has tried a few times recently. It's not working.
I don't know. I don't know what to say. You know, you just gotta be awesome, and sometimes you get a rainy day, sometimes you're at a rave. It's just like whatever you're gonna do.
You got to show us how to do that.
I tried to do it on Claire's computer, and she doesn't have it. I went up there. I was like, "Oh, you got to update your." Really? I have a Mac, and she has to update her Mac to make it so it's as good as mine. But I'm pretty sure she can do it. Thank you, Abigail. I really appreciate it.
Nothing.
I got all kinds of tricks up in here.
Thank you for the super sticker, Sandra. We appreciate it.
Yes.
Love Sherlock. You might be a Sea Org member. We did that one. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I pulled that one.
Okay, good.
We did it at the time. Sumaya from Osa to Mark. When you don't appreciate my work, it hurts my feelings.
Well, I'm sorry, guys. It's a giant waste of your time.
Yeah. DP Neverin. If you speak only in acronyms, you might be a Scientologist.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes. We should do one just on acronyms.
Yeah.
Escaping the cultiverse, eh? If you can eat a meal and smoke 2 cigarettes, you might be a Scientology staff member. There you go. Takes
you
one
get your
to know.
before cigarette, your after cigarette, and your.
That's true. That is 2 cigarettes. I was thinking, yeah, I guess you can.
Love Sherlock. Oh, we did this one too.
Okay.
All good. Dave Wheelhauer. When your idea of a hot date is a ride to an event while sharing a candy bar.
For real. For real.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Even they hold hands or something like that on the bus is a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you missed
Sweaty palms. Sweaty palms.
Yeah.
Sweaty palms.
My first date with Jim, it wasn't even a date really, but we sat on the bus together to LA, for the event.
That's where was Mark and I.
Yeah.
Japan of Green Gables. If you're 16 but have been divorced 8 times, you might be in the Sea Org. Boom. Yep. Love Sherlock. If sleeping 12 to a room in bunk beds doesn't bother you much, you might be a Sea Org member. So much great input tonight. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Single loner. Question. I dropped out of senior year in high school to join the Sea Org at Flag. I dropped out of that, got my GED, BS, MS, made a great life. Nice. Good job.
Good. Well done. Well done.
Yes, well done. Stephen Britton, if you ask, have you ever met an SP? You might be a Scientologist.
Yeah.
DDK, if you are 45 years old and don't have a driver's license, you might be a Scientologist.
I think Catherine was answering that one in the chat.
Yeah, probably.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, she just learned how to drive like 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean,
I taught Catherine to drive while I was teaching my 16-year-old how to drive. Same time. It was it was fun.
You know who didn't go with Claire when she was teaching Catherine how to drive?
This
Not
guy.
I was like,
I still sit in the back seat when Amy drives.
You do? Like she's your Uber?
Uber driver. Oh my gosh. We say that to our kids all the time if they get in the back seat. We're like, "What are we, your Uber driver now?"
If it's just me and one of the kids, and I get in the seat, I'm like, "Get in the front seat. Come on, come on, ridiculous."
Love Sherlock. If you've eaten a Costco supply of protein bars, then you might be a Sea Org member. Oh yes, very definitely.
Protein bars got us through sometimes. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. If you think the end of the week is 2 p.m. on Thursday, then you might be on staff or a Sea Org member. Very definitely. You probably are.
Yeah.
Shenanigans. Thanks for activating my endorphins. I removed my mascara before watching. Thanks for the laughs. Nice. You're welcome. It's our pleasure.
I was at the supermarket yesterday and I looked in the aisle and I was like, 5-hour energy. In the Sea Org, we had 20-hour energy.
Yeah, that's a ripoff.
Yeah.
Andrea says your son went to Dick Scobie Elementary. Oh, that's amazing.
Wow.
In Washington, like I went to that. It was called North Auburn Elementary, and I did kindergarten through 5th grade there, and then they named it Dick Scobie Elementary.
Wow. That's awesome.
It's
That's
fully
very
renovated,
cool.
brand new school now.
We've been in there.
That's amazing.
Nice.
Ms. Pillow, did you see Doug's Dazed But Not Confused video calling Scientology on 800 number from 1992 promo Scientology video and spoofing the representative? Went on for over 15 minutes. Was incredible. He got the rep to say Xenu. I didn't see that.
No.
There you go. I'll check it out.
Yeah, we'll have to check that out.
Xenu.
There's a lot of SPTV, and it would almost be impossible for us to watch everybody's videos all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Delicious things. What percentage of ex-Scientologists join another religion after leaving versus not practicing any religion at all, if you had to guess?
I don't know.
I would guess 80% don't.
Yeah.
Or
Don't.
95%.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would
be
want
my
to get away
guess.
from any kind of organized religion at all.
Yeah, there's trauma you have to work through to that's my own personal, just my gut feeling on it.
Yeah.
Somebody could prove me wrong and I wouldn't stand by that number, but
And I would say that some people consider themselves spiritual, but they're not going to sign up and for any organized religion. Like you got to be here, you got to do this. It's like, no, I don't. I'm not signing up for that.
Yeah, alert.
Yeah, I believe in God. I'll do all that, but I'm not showing up to musters, and I'm not giving you anything if I don't want to.
Yeah, and please do not ever tell me what to think. Ever.
No. Oh God, it triggers. I know.
Yeah, seriously.
And then Ben is saying, "Amy, I watched your video about starting your furniture business when you both got out. Just curious, were you working Sea Org hours when you started that? It sounded like you both worked hard.
Yeah, we did. We did. I mean, we didn't do all-nighters and stuff like that and go crazy, no sleep for 3 days or something. But I would start early in the morning and I would work usually until 11:30, 12 o'clock at night out in the shop, fixing the furniture up and taking pictures of it. And we worked every day of the week. And if I came in for lunch and I sat down and turned on MMA fights or something like that, Amy would go, "Don't you have something you could be doing?" You know? Like I was like,
no. Did you really, Amy?
Oh yeah. Like
you don't turn on the TV.
I'm eating while I'm watching the TV, but I'm not. I still didn't go over my half hour. She's like ready to nudge me and smacking me to go back out to the shop.
Oh my gosh, Mark and I
we had that ingrained big time.
Yeah. Mark and I joked that when he released his book, we'd done a whole pre-order. And so we released it and all the orders came flooding in. And that was the first time we pulled an all-nighter, was to ship all those books that night. And we're like, isn't this ironic?
Yeah.
The first all-nighter we're pulling since having left the Sea organization
is the book,
ship a book
about pulling all-nighters.
Yes. Crazy.
It was like, oh my goodness. Are we going to be doing this again?
It gets to a certain time at night and I just zone out. Like, that's it. I can't do it. I could not do, like, I'm 60 now, so I don't need to be doing all-nighters. Sometimes I'll stay up. If I'm on something and I'm totally into it, I've stayed up until 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever, but then I'll sleep in.
2
We're,
o'clock.
we're always saying, aren't we glad that we're not
Yes.
we have to do that schedule? How would we even do it? Because now we go off schedule by 2 hours and we're exhausted the next day.
I know.
Yes.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Literally, I don't know how some of those people are still alive. It's a miracle to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, this person asks, how long did it take you to get over using the words muster and birthing? No one uses those outside the bubble. We still say
We
them.
use it all the time.
We still say
The
them.
language
Yeah.
that you've learned for almost 30 years is so
Yeah.
ingrained. You don't even know what is a Scientology word, what ain't. You know, I mean, you just kind of.
Ain't is not a word.
It is.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
It is now.
It really
is
is.
now.
But I will say that more specifically, at least for Mark and I, when we where we escaped to was Kansas City, Missouri, and there was very little of the language out there. So it was really actually a very abrupt and healthy break to force ourselves to stop using the language. But when we come back together with people that we know, it's like you slip back into, it's just a mental thing. Like, you know that you understand. So why take that extra step to, but again, I think it's also a really good thing to practice not using the language, even with you guys that we know, it's just,
I know.
Yeah.
Sometimes I tell
it's healthy.
That's not a word. That's not a word.
Yeah. Don't you talk terminal to me, Matt.
If he says terminal, that's exactly the word. Terminal. But also he'll say the church, and I said the what? The cold.
Yeah. Mark will say to me,
the audience that's non-Scientologist, some of the audience, I'm always trying to, like, if you see me hesitating, I'm trying to translate in my head to words that, you know, would be applicable to be used, you know?
Yeah.
It's a really good thing to practice. Like, to me, one of the best examples of that is to say the word civilian Scientologist instead of public Scientologist, because public Scientologist to someone out in the world means absolutely nothing.
It's almost like a weird thing to say. Like, why are you saying a public Scientologist?
What does
because
that mean?
That's what
like
we call
open?
it. Yeah, that's what we call it as Sea Org members.
Yeah.
You refer to Scientologists as public, not as. So now we say, so now we say civilian Scientologists, because public, they don't know what that means. It's a weird Scientology, even Sea Org definition that even Scientologists know, like, no, I'm a public, and they refer to themselves that way. Oh, I'm just a public. I'm not a Sea Org member. I'm just a public. But at the end base. But at the end base, David Muscat, a public at the end base is called an FCCI. And that's somebody who does courses or does counseling at FLAG. They're called a FLAG. What is it? Case Completion Intensive.
Case course completion or something?
Yeah.
Intensive. The I is for intensive.
Yeah. So if you were at the end base and you're like, oh, I got to go to study, and David Miscavige was like waiting for you, or you were supposed to do something, and like, what happened to that person? He'd be like, oh, they went to study, and he would be like, oh, what an FCCI. And that's how he referred to Sea Org members that wanted to do counseling or wanted to do training. It's like, oh, you're not here to work. You're here to do Scientology.
Wow.
Yeah, more specifically, where the term civilian Scientologist was much more explanatory and beneficial, was to explain in the Danny Masterson trial the concept of authority that the Sea organization has over civilian Scientologists. And public makes that muddy and just unclear, whereas civilian Scientologist makes it very, very clear. Sea organization members are senior to and have complete authority over civilian Scientologists.
That's a good point. Real good point.
Yeah, I love that. Really good.
Awesome.
Well, we came to the end of our questions.
We
Yay!
did it.
Great idea, Matt. Thank you so much. Thanks for that amazing list.
That was fun.
Well, I mean,
that was awesome.
And I mean, our starred things. We still have a bunch of stuff on this list, which we can save for another day. When we need to laugh more. And I really appreciate all of the input from you guys too. That was just awesome.
It was amazing.
I laughed so hard. It was very
Yes.
therapeutic
Yeah.
to go through it and just see how stupid these things are.
Yeah.
And it's just so true. Anyway,
Lots of good comments put up, and I'm going to go back through this and read them again afterwards so I can catch them all, because when we're doing this, I don't have time to like read it. But there's a lot of good stuff people are putting up.
Yeah.
Very definitely.
Claire and I do go through the comments. I don't read every single one, but I do read a lot of them. If you have ideas on videos you want us to do, or if you want to know something about, if we see a lot of the same, then we might just do a video on it. If we just see one here and there, then we'll just usually answer in the questions, in the comments.
Right.
We'll just answer.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'll just show this because it just came in. That's Buckled Up Buttercup, which I love that name. Yeah. My fake Davy arrived today. My dog chewed his head off. She was so pleased.
Nice.
Nice. That is amazing. Yes. Don't forget to head on over to the spshop.com to get your fake Navy Davy or whatever name suits your fancy for him. All proceeds benefit the Aftermath Foundation. So yes, indeed. There you have it.
Nice.
Yep. And also don't forget to smash the like button on both of our channels and subscribe, Queen Bee SP and Blown for Good, for continued exposure of all things Scientology.
And it's free. It's free to subscribe.
Yep.
Yay.
It's free, yeah. And if you want to fake Davy, he's right down in the description, like right below the description. If you're watching on a computer or on your phone, he's right there. You just get it, or you can get one of yourself, this Hail Xenu, or you can go to the Queen Bee on Amy's channel. You can list, I think anyone can list the SP shop on their channel if you want to. If you just search, if you just search fake Navy Davy in the product section, it'll come up. It comes up for me, even though it's an Aftermath store. I still put it in here.
Oh,
nice.
So if you want.
And we just added the I Support the Aftermath Foundation hoodies, which are selling like hotcakes. So yay.
That's fantastic.
Yes, there you go.
Okay.
Awesome, guys.
All right,
Always
everybody.
fun.
Well, thank you.
We love you guys.
it
We'll
was
see you
fun.
soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.